Okay, class, this is Mr. Bean here, and this is going to be lab number 2 for honors physics, measuring acceleration of a cart down a ramp. Okay, over here we have the objectives of the lab. Is 1, determine acceleration of cart down ramp at 5 different angles. And also a second objective is to calculate acceleration due to gravity g. Okay? Now, the theory part is that, in theory, when a ball is dropped in the absence of air resistance, a ball will drop straight down at an acceleration, notice here g with the absolute value and the vector symbol means magnitude. The magnitude value is 9.80 meters per second squared. Okay? Now, in a ramp situation, later we will discuss why A is straight down and why G is at the slope of the triangle here. But anyways, a cart will roll down the cart and accelerate down the cart and at some angle theta. The relationship is going to be sine of theta is equal to A over G. Now make sure theta is in degrees. And we can see here, we can solve for G by doing some algebra, and we see that G is equal to whatever the acceleration is down the ramp divided by sine of theta. So the question comes up is, where does A come from? So A comes from several graphs here. In the previous lab, we plotted delta x versus t, and when something was accelerating down a ramp, we got a curve that kind of looked like this. Okay? Now, if we change the x-axis here and make it into the y-axis into a v, we see that we'll get a straight line. A velocity versus time will take this graph, position versus time, and make it linear like this. And here, the slope of the line is the acceleration, which is what we want to find. Okay. Now, over here, we have a suggested table of how we might want to do this. So the table, we might have a column for trials. We'll probably have 5 trials. The degrees, angle, theta in degrees, the acceleration in meters per second squared, whatever g is, what we calculate to be, also in meters per second squared, and percent error. Percent error would equal the absolute value of the experimental value minus 9.8 divided by 9.8 times 100. Generally speaking, we want this to be under 10%.